All right, we are now ready to start the first panel discussion of the day, ladies and gentlemen, which is on Gen Z retail entrepreneurs, redefining e-commerce with technology. Gen Z are the modern innovators and value-driven visionaries of new generation entrepreneurs who require just the right direction and thoughts to get started. The panel discussion will bring together leading entrepreneurs who will share their rich experience and insights on how these new age Gen Z entrepreneurs can create a sustainable business model while enhancing unitechnomics through various business functionalities. And for this panel, may I now invite our moderator for this session, Associate Director PwC, Ms. Kunjal Thakkar on the stage. Of course, we'll help her feel welcomed on the stage. Kunjal has over 15 years of experience in business and strategy consulting across retail, banking, financial services, and pharma clients in North America, Europe, and India. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Kunjal Thakkar. All right. Let us now let us now welcome our first panelist of the session, Chief Strategy Officer, Power Gummies, Mr. Kapil Mittal. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. As always, we will welcome our panelists strategizing the company's growth with strong business acumen. Here he is, Mr. Kapil Mittal. And our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is co-founder of MasQ by Q1, Mr. Vikas Kapoor. With 25 years of experience, Mr. Vikas Kapoor is a respected voice in the industry. His vision and foresight have enabled Q1 to emerge as a market leader in the embroidery domain. Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is Deputy General Manager Sales, Mr. Balwant Singh Chauhan. Having experience of more than 17 years, Mr. Balwant Singh Chauhan has been associated with Tally for more than 15 years and has been driving Tally technology adoption in MSME and government organizations through specialized set of partner network. Next we have VP Digital and E-Commerce, Mr. Shayakh Mirza from PhD Media. With 13 years of experience in digital and e-com, having worked with Flipkart and multiple advertising agencies previously, and also been a successful entrepreneur. And our last panelist for this session is founder and CEO, Nimbuspost, Mr. Yash Jain. Let's welcome them all with a huge, warm round of applause. Mr. Yash Jain, carrying more than 7 years of experience with the fastest growing community of startups, and entrepreneurs are coming together for swift and absolutely seamless shipping solutions with an extensive reach and reliable customer support in his guidance. Let us now begin the first session, Ms. Thakkar.
Yep. Good morning, everyone. Let me start with a couple of examples which I feel most of you, maybe all of you will relate to. It was recently a friend's wedding during the pandemic, and I had to buy a new outfit. And stores were shut, so I decided to buy it online. I was like, okay, wedding outfit online. My dad's birthday was coming up. I wanted to buy a personalized gift. I did it online. I have to go to a doctor. I'm booking an appointment online. Forget all that. Just yesterday, I forgot my regular shampoo in Bombay. I don't have time to go and shop for it. All I did was, you're right, I just went online, got an app who shopped on my behalf and delivered it to me in like 10 minutes flat. So what is happening is that the online world has become so quick and so easy to use, and it's also being quite interesting. There's a lot of live shopping also that happens. Now, whether it's a big brand or a startup which is selling through its website or social media, you can clearly see the the impact that the e-commerce world, the e-commerce business is actually having. It's across the board. And it's a huge enabler in today's world, in our country, for the MSME sector. Now, this paradigm change is being propelled by, rise in mobile internet. It's in our hands, it's on our fingertips. And also there's higher adoption now by people for the retail online commerce. And the pandemic was the one that gave it a big push. Now, those are not the only things. There's another factor there. If you think that the whole disruption with respect to technology and its high adoption is an art, who do you think is the artist here? It's Gen Z. They have this mantra of you live only once, hashtag YOLO. They were born with the internet from day one. Hence, you can see that on one hand, as consumers, they are totally shaking up the market, while on the other hand, as entrepreneurs, they are bringing new ideas, innovation, tech, as well as new ways of working as business leaders. Now, they are also known as the DIY generation. They are so high, they have this higher individualistic streak. They are taking higher risks. And you won't be surprised that in India, the number of entrepreneurs, the Gen Z entrepreneurs, stood at 63%, as compared to a global average of just 42%. They are very, very independent. They are very self-sufficient because they have the solution on their mobile phones. They have a question, they have an issue, they just get the answers and solutions on their fingertips. And this has led them to do business at a very, very young age. You have entrepreneurs who are starting business on YouTube, who are starting business on Instagram, at a very young age of even just being a teenager. Now, if I'm to say, and maybe I'm not completely wrong, then we are today living in Gen Z's world. And they are ruling it on e-commerce as buyers or as entrepreneurs. So having said that, I would like to ask my esteemed panelists about looking at this e-commerce trend and even the Gen Z mix in it. As per your experience, what do you think is very different when it comes to selling to a Gen Z, as well as for some of you who are into the B2B business, selling to a Gen Z entrepreneur? What are they doing differently as compared to, say, millennials or the Gen X?
Interesting conversation. So, the world is all about Gen Z now, as Kunjal said. They need very quick solutions, and the comparison between a millennial selling and Gen Z selling is Gen Zs don't ask a lot of questions. They have a to-do list, and the to-do list is quite opposite to a to-do list of millennial. This to-do list is not what I want. Gen Z's to-do list is what I don't want. That's very specific. What I don't want in my XYZ, accessories, lifestyle, shopping, application, up till boyfriend as well. So the to-do list is very clear to them, and hence doing a business from a B2C point of view or D2C point of view is far easier than doing a business with millennials. Engagement is higher. They have their own mindset. They understand personalization as compared to millennials. So it's very easier for a D2C brand or entrepreneurs like us to have a business or greater business value with Gen Zs. That's my point of view.
They're very aware of what they don't want.
Yes, they're very aware.
So, of course, being aware, and they have a mind of their own. So I would like to share an example or my interaction with my 12-year-old son. So we recently started selling online, like in COVID times. And this was all pretty new to us. We got some tailwind and the product is doing great. And my son, he comes and asks me, I don't understand, why are you not using AR? You know, and I want to try without buying. You know, I said, you buy and you see if it looks good. No, he explained, no, if you have AR, then I can see how your product is going to look on me, because we are into fashion accessories, you know. So he explained to us that how he can see my product without buying, without ordering, without the product reaching, that how the product is going to look on his face. Now, that compelled us. Our biggest, all online retailers, the biggest challenge is RTOs, right? You want to build customer experience, you want to build, your brand loyalty, and this is what the generation, Gen Zs are looking for, technology. And they are much ahead of where, at the point what is required now in terms of technology. They need it if they see it, and they know what is in now, and that is what they want. So we have to do a lot of catching up, and the technology will play a big role.
Good morning to everyone. So, yes, truly said that Jain Zs are looking forward for the upcoming futures. And we, as a technology company, have the same thought processes. I have interacted with several new young people who are looking forward with the same experience of Jain Z. The only thing is that when we look this diversity in terms of doing a business or making profitability, or either you are a buyer if you are a seller, if you your intent to just get into growth. The thing is that whatever technology you are going to accept, whatever internet technology you are going to think, and whatever new thing you are going to derive and give this world a new change, the only thing is that a customer satisfaction, whatever you are going to build on, is a customer satisfaction. The imagination of getting the things into reality through the internet is what the viability of getting the perspective. And because there are lots of perspectives which go all across into the mindset when we are choosing in technology, if we are getting something for the true world, is whatever is going to be acceptable might cannot work, or either it cannot progress to that level is required. Like if you will talk about thousands of technologies are emerging on daily basis, lots of applications are coming on this world, but how many of them are popular and how many of them have survived from a very long perspective? So consistent delivery and changing your mindset of delivering the technology would be the future game changer in this world, because consistently the behavioral aspect is going to change for everyone. And so whatever things which, because I'm just representing Tally, I've just interacted with several business owners, the young entrepreneurs. They want technology to be have in their fingertips. What do you mean by fingertips? How you are going to make your business profitable by just getting it fingertips? So might be this type of behavioral expectation changes is happening all across the world. Whenever you are going to choose any behavioral aspect in terms of product and delivery, there are 4 things which is very crucial and important. One is discovery. Discovery, whenever we think that what is required by me is what discovery means. And the second thing is ordering. Third is your just delivering. And fourth is your post-delivery experience. This is going to rule this economy, the economy of this world on this e-platform, which we as a technology company are aware and we are working on that. So the thing is that the behavioral shift will happen on consistent basis, and it need to be modified every time to be consistent into this thing. So might be the technology which is today can survive for a long, only when you will think the change. And whatever change which is happening all across in the behavioral of customers, it need to be taken care. So we used to understand the philosophy. Every buy which I make through online will not give the same experience every time. And might be my behavior is that I can get bored of getting that website. I can choose a new website who is very fashion looking and everything. So behavioral shift would be there, and we need to cope up with these challenges being an entrepreneur, and we need to think ahead while selecting any technology. This is what I believe the Gen Z has a very high speed of changing their mindset and behavior, which we need to cope up with the technology.
Very fluid and fast-paced.
I think morning sessions are always good because people are less sleepy. most of the points we have, we have seen. So as a brand or as a company who's dealing with large scale companies to Gen Z startups, right? What we've seen is one, the largest or the millennials are more process driven. They are more legacy builders or value creators, right? Gen Z are more disruptors, right? They think that something which we bring is obviously of value, but it does something for either of to them, their peers, their similar age group, or to the world, right? Hence, you see a trend of people, and especially Gen Z entrepreneurs supporting causes also, right? Black Lives Matters, etc. Right? Uh, it's a shift. They are more prone towards making quicker decisions. Whenever we talk strategies, it's usually research driven by, what's the positioning like, the 4 Ps to 6 Ps to 7 Ps, right? But Gen Zs are like, what strikes to me, what strikes to my consumers. And also they are real time, they are mapping insights. And based on those insights, they are making faster decisions. So it's basically, they are more agile, so to say, right? And that's been my experience, and it's wonderful to work with them because the decisions are far better the faster. Yeah.
Get things moving quicker.
Although I could not see much Gen Z sitting here, there are not many Gen Zs out in the audience. But I would start with share my experience about Gen Zs and millenniums. So if you see the industry, e-commerce is not something which has been running since years in India. It's not something कि 100 साल से धंधे चल रहे हैं, लोग generation by generation काम करते आए हैं. E-commerce and D2C is something which is building now in India. And it's changing, you could say it's evolving, it's changing day by day. So if you see the millenniums, they would have experience. They would have more experience of running business. They would have spent years in running traditional businesses. But see, when you see the e-commerce, it's not as simple as you could say the traditional businesses which were running in India. For every aspect of e-commerce, there's a technology adoption. There are a lot of tools which we use, which we adopt, which we use for either it could be product research, either it could be marketing, either it could be automation. So that is not something millennials are, you could say, have been working into since years. So that's one of the reasons Gen Zs can do better or are doing better. Second thought I have is now the market and business has completely changed. Post-COVID, I don't think any of the Gen Z would say I will go and open a shop in Karol Bagh. Nobody would give it a thought. And even the way startup ecosystem is growing in India, the way startup founders are making money out of equity, the way all things like even Shark Tank have pulled off the entire ecosystem. Now, I've been hearing all out of my families, there are small kids who are seeing Shark Tank and telling, I will start an e-commerce business or I will build a D2C brand. Nobody is coming to me and telling to me ki I will open a shop or I will do this business, I'll do something offline or a traditional business. So there's a big mindset, you could say, shift in mindset of new generation, new Gen Z. And even as a millennium, nobody would suggest their kids even to go and look for traditional business. Everybody would say, see what these guys are doing, see the media, see how people are making millions and billions in terms of equity. So that's one of the reasons Gen Zs are about to do better, or you could say there will be a lot of Gen Zs into the market. Second is when it comes to technology, when it comes to, you could say, digital, as compared to old folks or even somebody's millennium who's running e-commerce business, all their team would be Gen Z, I'm very sure. Whether you say you have a creative folks, you have PPC folks, all those will be the Gen Z guys who will be running or working on the bottom, basically. So that's one of the reasons I see Gen Zs would do better in this market. And surely Gen Zs is something a big competition to all millenniums. So you should be ready. Either upgrade yourself or start thinking like Gen Z, or else Gen Zs will take you over. That's my thought.
Very valid, yeah. In fact, good point there. So in fact, all of you mentioned, right, they're agile, they're changing, and it's so fast-paced. And like you rightly said, Yash, if we as organizations or as sellers are not going to change and keep up, we are going to perish. So the best way is to just keep moving. On those lines, I know some of you touched upon the technology aspect. Now, you know, Gen Z technology definitely, like I said, they were born in the technology era. So today we are seeing that there are so many things around, say, blockchain, IoT, automation, and Gen Zs are, like you rightly said, your son, he was aware about AI. Like, you know, he's like, why don't you do like a trial, online trial bit? So they are so aware of it. So what I want to understand, like, it's a two-part question, maybe starting off with you guys who are doing like a B2B, where you're interacting with Gen Z entrepreneurs. What is the next big technology, maybe as your businesses or in general, you think that's going to be very critical to lure the Gen Z entrepreneurs or to cater to their needs, so to speak, from technology point of view?
Sure. So I've been a tech founder, you could say. I started at very young age, you could say. I'm still 25. And I started up after my 18, you could say. And I started my journey as a technology business since 7 years. So if you see like Gen Zs and technology, see there's going to be, technology is going to always evolve. It's not going to be fixed. There's no roadmap that, okay, blockchain is coming or this technology is coming and XYZ is going to come on this year. So you go upgrade. You don't know whether that technology would be able to, what will be the impact of that technology into the business. They're like you could say if you see blockchains, crypto, they're doing good, but you don't see much impact in e-commerce. I don't see a couple of years where in India where people will start using blockchain for e-commerce transaction. That's going to take some time. So if my thought process about technology is you need to upgrade. No matter what technology stack comes, no matter, there could be blockchain, there could be IoT, there could be some new stack tomorrow. As a Gen Z, Gen Z's upgrades very fast as compared to millennials. When I was, you could say, working at a younger age, I used to learn a lot, adapt a lot. And like I see, whereas millennials and other people around me, they are stick with, okay, I'm doing this, I'm happy now. My life is settled. I've been married, I have house, I have kids. I won't be able to upgrade myself. So you need to be a little flexible and upgrade yourself. We, as a logistics platform, we work with a lot of D2C brands. We work with a lot of e-commerce sellers. Almost we work with more than 10,000 plus e-commerce sellers in India. Out of all my seller base, if I see, more than 60% are Gen Z. All those are young folks who have run Facebook ads, who have learned marketing, and they have been doing, and they have been earning good figures. They are sellers who have, you could say, live best what even their parents and other generations won't even thought about. So with technology, I believe like you need to be flexible. You need to upgrade yourself as and when the stack change. There's no fixed stack that there's nothing as such that you go today and learn blockchain and tomorrow, okay, you will do something in blockchain. So you should be flexible, upgrade yourself, and like be flexible to shift with time. So I'll give you an example like a difference between millennium and a Gen Z seller, you could say. If I see the current D2C market, we have two kind of a seller base. One is like somebody who's doing business since a couple of years and old. He won't let the inventory out from his warehouse. He will always tell, no, I will never think about distributed inventory or using a fulfillment center or keeping my inventory somewhere else. They think, what if my inventory is not there? What if it got lost? They see inventory as a money and they keep all their inventory into their place. And like when you see a Gen Z founder, the first thing he will figure out is he don't want to get involved in any operation. He will outsource everything. He will find fulfillment center, put off all the inventories. He will find no matter he need to pay extra, maybe 10 rupees extra for the fulfillment. But with Gen Zs, like they don't want to take headache. They don't want to handle operation. And that's one of the reason they move faster. Or you could say they are being, you could say, although they may not be making that bottom line what our experienced guy is making, but when you see the pace, when you see the track, Gen Zs are more faster because they adopt new things, they try new things. That is something which millennials need to upgrade.
So interestingly enough, there are major shifts which you can see, and Vikas rightly said, your son is right. See, AR and VR is one thing which will dominate. It has been there, so companies like Lenskart did evolve in terms of, you can try it and then buy it, right? Voice-based searches, etc., are one thing which will evolve over a period of time. Some companies did it because the technology is still adapting, right? The response to technology or the outcome wasn't that crisp, but it is happening. Blockchain, in my mind, when it comes to supply chain and logistics, it's more trackable. It gives the advantage of also enabling fraud detection in place. And IoT basically enables everything when it comes to, be it connected homes to. So, for example, if I am sitting at my home and I just see a need of a shampoo, right? I can say to Google or Amazon Alexa and say, why don't you add a shampoo in my cart and buy it? So I think these shifts, which visually stimulate and also like a AR or a VR, or they have some tangible outputs, this will keep on happening, and also crypto. So although I sort of have a different perspective on crypto, but virtual currencies will keep on dominating. So it's buy now, pay later is one of the few things. We earlier were a more cash on delivery economy, right? And we slowly moved to cards, debit cards, and the credit cards. Security and safety was an issue that time, right? But right now we are moving towards a technology where we don't foresee if in 5 years or 10 years we might be buying from Ethereum or any of this currency. In fact, Elon Musk has enabled, you can buy a car with Bitcoins. I think these trends will be moving forward, and it's up to us to adapt to it. Because going forward, whoever adapts and has a first mover advantage will anyways benefit out of it.
So, as everything has already been spoken by both of the guys, the only thing is that whenever we are talking about the Gen X, the people are very, very stringent of what they like. So, whenever you are going to make a choice of technology, the perseverance of getting the satisfaction out of those technology is not so simple. Why I'm just saying this, the things being an entrepreneur, you might select a technology platform which will initially give you a satisfaction, but for your growing needs, for the changing behavior, it might not continue with your organization for a longer. So whenever the things of getting selecting anything in terms of e-commerce or in terms of getting the things possible at your doorstep, you might be watching that things are changing. And whatever platform, any of the entrepreneurs who are using and getting it, the experience part is one of the most crucial part. Like if you are buying a shampoo, if you've been delivered expired shampoo, so what will be your reaction? If you'll write something wrong about that product on this e-commerce platform, or you will just get it viral through the social media, so you can imagine the impact which you are expecting in a positive direction through these platforms can be adverse also. So whenever we talk about selecting a technology, the top priority is how you are going to deal a customer. If you are going to create a technology which will consistently deliver the same aspect, whatever it may be. But being an entrepreneur, it is highly crucial that whatever velocity of money which is driving all across these movements should be trackable, should be persistent, and should be so smooth that it can give an experience, a wow experience to customer, a wow experience to the seller also, and wow experience to every person. Like, we as a technology company, Tally, are present here from last 32 years. And the expectation of the new young generation people are just getting the business should be handy. Means while you are moving anywhere 24/7, you want your business to be live. So we are there, we are providing you, but it doesn't mean that whatever the experience we are planning to give you might give you the same satisfaction every time. And for that, we need to be consistent of delivering and making change into this technology on a regular basis is what the intent as a technology company, so that you would be on a same level. And this is going to be the winning situation every way and every future is going to turn around this only.
Yeah, so make sure we are upgrading to cater to the entrepreneurs. So what we heard, what Gen Z entrepreneurs would expect and how you can cater to them. With you, Vikas and Kapil, your experience with the direct to consumer, where the Gen Z is the buyer, what's the kind of technology element you see to drive that maybe personalized customer experience? Like one you mentioned about the AI where you try on and things like that. But what has been your experience when you have introduced these new kind of technologies, the adaptiveness and the response when it comes to a D2C area, when it comes to these advanced technologies?
So technology, we're all talking about technology and Gen Zs, but technology in your case on what is required, what is new, versus what suits your need, what is your case is very important. I don't know what AR would do in a shampoo case, but in my case, a virtual fitting room solves such a big problem, not just for my business, but for the entire fashion industry. I mean, you talk about sustainability, the kind of inventories you have to keep now. You know, you don't know your customer is what size, what does he want. And once you can take your measurements just by from a mobile phone, and you can deliver the product in the right color, which is based on your AI, which you've gathered, and the fitting exact measurements of a dress, is delivered to a customer, the kind of change is phenomenal. And we're talking about India. All this, when we are talking about this technology, sometimes we feel, this is abhi bahut time lagega, is not the case. We are today at 4% of the world's, fourth country, fourth or fifth country, and now we're moving towards fourth. We may be 4% of the GDP, but we are 40% of digital transactions of the world. We're adding 12 million people, workers every year to working population is added, and these are all Gen Zs, and they will, going by how comfortable we are with adopting technology, these changes are going to happen first and foremost in India. And I strongly believe that within next 5 years, you will see a revolution on how this purchase or purchasing is happening online. This change will be phenomenal, and technology will play a very, very big role.
In fact, you bring a very interesting point. I was just reading a report recently which said that India is bound to surpass even the US and become the second largest online retail market by 2030 or 34. So yeah, the market is growing, and it's growing at a fast speed.
It's going at a very fast speed.
Yeah.
The numbers already are there, and yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Kapil, your take?
अब आपने बैठाया तो जवाब तो देना पड़ेगा, बाकी सबने कवर कर ही लिया है, फिर भी. So, engagement, personalization, these are the foremost two things which technology is going to do. Putting up from his point, VR, AR, these will the things, of course, use case is very important. You rightly touched a point, use case. For example, मैं audience से एक सवाल पूछता हूँ. Instagram का backend क्या है? Anyone? कोई बताएगा मेरे को Instagram backend किस टेक्नोलॉजी में बना है? हाँ जी. ओके. तो मतलब यार मैं इसलिए सवाल पूछ रहा था कि इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है, फर्क इससे पड़ता है यूज केस क्या है. ब्लॉकचेन आएगा, आईओटी आएगा, क्या आएगा, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. यूज केस है पर्सनलाइजेशन. वो मैं अपनी बात कहना चाह रहा था आपसे, जो आपने पॉइंट टच किया. Irrespective with you understand, you don't understand, you please understand the use case, and that is personalization and engagement. So now, how personalization is going to happen? VR he touched upon, and he touched upon voice and chat bots. Moment I went through an VR virtual showroom, क्योंकि अब इसके बाद आप अब सीधे हम मेटा ही पहुंचने वाले हैं, समझ में आ रहा है, उधर ही जा रही है conversation. So VR is all about where you can मतलब जो बाइंग है ना, मतलब मेरे हिसाब से बाइंग जो हो रही है ना 4 सेंसेस से होती है. आपका आप क्या देख रहे हो, आप क्या टच कर रहे हो, फील कर रहे हो, आप कैसा महसूस कर रहे हो, आप कैसा स्मेल कर रहे हो. करेक्ट. टेक्नोलॉजी ने 4 सीन सॉल्व कर दिया, 5वां भी सॉल्व करेगी. अब वो आपके माइंड को कैसे स्टिमुलेट करते हैं, कैसे एंट्रोनल को बढ़ाते हैं और कैसे आपके बाकी एलिमेंट्स को बढ़ाते हैं, वो अभी टेक्नोलॉजी करेगी आगे. सो AR और VR में ये होने वाला है कि आपको टच की फीलिंग आ गई. अब आपने एलेक्सा से पूछा, या जैसा आप कह रहे थे, आपने अपने असिस्टेंट से पूछा, टोनी स्टार्क भी हो सकता है वो असिस्टेंट, उससे आपने पूछा कि भी हाउ इज़ द रिव्यू, हाउ इज़ द फीडबैक. नाउ दिस असिस्टेंट इज गिविंग यू, hi Girish, your friend this is also bought the product and bought this many days back, and he has been using this. Why don't you ask them, would you like to take me a call with him? References, engagement and personalization, ये 3 यूज केसेस हैं टेक्नोलॉजी के जो आप ब्लॉकचेन के थ्रू ले लो. हिंदी बात इसलिए मुझे बोली कि साबिल लोग इंग्लिश में बोल रहे थे, थोड़ा सा लगा इंग्लिश हिंदी मिक्स कर देता हूँ. सो दिस इज द यूज केस विच इज गोइंग टू हैपन, एंड प्लीज बी रेडी अबाउट इट. विद कमिंग अप टेक्नोलॉजीज लाइक गूगल लेंस, not those Google specs, which is coming up. So wearables, this will change the scenario. And as far as the concern of market, हमारी तो हिंदुस्तान की population ही बहुत बड़ी है.
Thank you. I've been asked to wrap up quickly. So in the interest of time, I'll just take like one last question with the panelists, and we'll make it like a rapid fire round, the typical way of chat shows. And it's around, of course, if you're talking about technology, how can I not touch upon metaverse? So a quick rapid fire questions, 30 seconds. What do you think? Work, not work? Is India ready for it, not ready for it?
See, like, my quick thoughts are, who knows, there will be UPI. It came overnight, and you could say everybody have adopted and is adopting. So technology adoption in India is something I don't see as is something India ready or not. If there's a technology which makes sense, which solves lives, the adoption is something I believe everybody will adopt it. That's my quick.
I think I can write a white paper on metaverse, but still I'll keep it short. It's in the nascent stages. Brands are experimenting with it. Consumers aren't there in India, very small population, because Oculus Rift is not still that, and Google Lenses are not still that affordable right now. But in the coming future, I think phygital is, brands are already gearing up to it. So it will happen eventually. How soon or how later it is, that's the question we just need to watch out for.
Great.
So what is my understanding? If this technology will come to in your hands, like if the technology will demand you something to buy and implement, then definitely it will be a challenge. And if technology will come that whatever is in your hand and you are going to make possible, so you are going to accept either as a consumer, either as a buyer, either as a seller. So the technology which is demanded now is moving towards accepting whatever things which we are ready with the infrastructure. It seems that it is going to be acceptable in a huge demand. So what we feel right now.
Great. Thank you. Vikas?
Metaverse, it will happen. It is going to happen. My firm belief, it will happen, the maximum impact, it will happen first in India. And in my domain or in my industry, fashion and textiles, it will change the industry, and it is going to happen very soon.
Perfect.
No doubts about that.
Perfect. Yep.
The denominator is ready, and it is just numerator which is on the quotient, and numerator is hardware sets. The cheaper hardware is going to be higher denominator. Users as a denominators are ready to accept it. So, and here's the equation you can solve yourself.
Definitely. Thank you. Before we wrap up, I just want to ask the audience if you have any questions for our panelists. Any questions? We can take probably 2 questions if we have the time. You can see the MC walking towards the stage. She's giving me a hint. Yeah. You can hand over this.
थैंक यू हेलो सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि इंडिया में D2C बहुत ज़्यादा ग्रो कर रहा है और जो भी सर ने बताया कि हम ड्रॉप शिपिंग मॉडल में बहुत ज़्यादा और प्रॉफिटेबल भी है वो स्केलिंग भी है बहुत हम भी उसी बिजनेस में है बट अभी इंडिया में जो 98% ऑर्डर आते हैं ना सर जानते होंगे वो तो पूरा एग्रीगेटर मॉडल पे देख ही रहे हैं कि वो COD आते हैं और उसमें जो सबसे ज़्यादा पेन पॉइंट है ना वो RTO है अगर RTO मतलब किसी भी एंगल से हम लोग कम करके दे पाए तो हर कोई प्रॉफिटेबल होगा और मिलियनर बनना कोई ड्रॉप शिपिंग या ई-कॉमर्स में कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है वो मतलब मंथ्स का गेम रह जाएगा बट COD को हम कैसे रिड्यूस करें और RTO मतलब कैसे कम आए क्योंकि कुछ कॉरियर बॉय भी ऐसा करते हैं कि वो जेन्युइन कस्टमर लेना चाहता है बट उसको RTO कर देता है अब मैं सर से पूछ सकता हूँ यहाँ पे जैन सर बैठे हैं और भी अभी कई सारे सर आए हुए हैं कंपटीशन सेम है बट मैं सेम कंसर्न है कि सेम बिजनेस मॉडल सब कॉपी कर रहे हैं बट RTO को लेके मतलब क्या प्लान से हम कैसे COD को कम करके और RTO को कम लाएं
So RTO is a question, ये सबका कंसर्न है मतलब anybody who does e-commerce in India जब कोई we had lot of sellers who start early जो शुरू करते हैं लोग तो lot of sellers लोग शॉक होते देख के अरे मैंने तो शिपमेंट भेजा and I have paid for you for a shipment getting delivered why it's coming back मेरा शिपमेंट वापस क्यों आया So RTO is something like every e-commerce, whether it could be even bigger marketplaces, even Flipkart, Myntra is trying to solve it, and even all D2C brand, and everybody is trying to solve it. So see, like one of the ways, like there are a couple of tools, optimization, which have been coming up down the line, which what I see is like one of the model is like a lot of sellers who start with dropship, their website is not branded. It's like a random Shopify store which you sell on. So one is you slowly go towards a branded approach, where you have all different tools, like you use WhatsApp as a notification. We have a lot of sellers who have enabled WhatsApp with us, and unka delivery percentage, they've seen 10-15% increase in delivery percentage just with NDR and notification on WhatsApp. Second is like you should try, either it could be, there are a lot of checkout tools like GoQuick and all into the market. Use certain checkout tools and try to increase your prepaid. The more prepaid you have, the less is the pain of RTO. And there are a lot of hacks like the way market is evolving, try to segregate your audience, try to keep your audience more towards metro cities or audiences where you have the max delivery or audiences with specifically start eliminating, creating a negative list in Facebook, we call it negative list, where you see which are performing, which are not performing. So as a e-commerce business, it's not just running your campaigns, getting orders and shipping. You need to switch towards data-centric approach. You need to see what's working, where it's not working, which SKU is leading you to more RTO, what is the audience, what is your audience targeting? Are you doing a detailed targeting or open targeting? So there are a lot of factors which you could say, which can help you in terms of reducing your RTO, but that's the pain you could say, that's the pain everybody have, and it's something like you need to experiment. For every brand, every different brand is a different, you could say, concept of reducing RTOs. That's my suggestion.
I would like to add, RTO सबका प्रॉब्लम है, हम सब जानते हैं, और हिंदुस्तान का RTO पूरे दुनिया से ज़्यादा है, वो भी एक फैक्ट है. पर एक जो मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि ब्रांड लॉयल्टी बिल्ड करो, अपनी वेबसाइट से बेचो, टाइम लगेगा, अपनी वेबसाइट अपने चैनल को प्रमोट करो, ओमनी चैनल, नो डाउट यू हैव टू बी ओमनी चैनल प्रेजेंट, बट अपनी वेबसाइट को बिल्ड करो, ब्रांड लॉयल्टी बिल्ड करो. सेकंड, वीडियो, स्मॉल पॉइंट है, आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग माय एक्सपीरियंस. वीडियोस, जस्ट लिस्टिंग्स में वीडियोस की बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. योर प्रोडक्ट डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन, योर वीडियो the customer experience before buying and once the product is with him, उसके पास जब product आ गया, वो बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं हो सकता, वो वीडियो के थ्रू सॉल्व करो. और तीसरा थोड़ा सा मैं डिफर करूँगा मिस्टर जैन से कि Tier 3 cities को इग्नोर मत करो. They are going to be in very बहुत जल्दी होने वाला है और वो गैप बहुत तेज़ी से कम हो रहा है. तो वो Tier 3 cities भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हैं आपके बिजनेस के लिए. So these 3 things.
Thank you, nice. Sir, आप RTO की बात पूछ रहे थे. So I think RTO is not a concern, it's a symptom. Please understand why the symptom हो क्यों रहा है. Although these two gentlemen have summarized it, but RTO is a symptom of your brand positioning, is also a symptom of your promise of your creatives or your advertisement, plus the pricing strategy which you have chosen to omni-channel or your own D2C. If you will be able to solve this, I'm not able to saying solve it, but minimize the gap, you will be having the direct amplification on RTO percentage. Saying that 100% it will be solved, let's wait for NFTs.
Thank you. Okay, I guess in the interest of time, I have to wind up because I'm already getting the signs from backstage. So thank you so much. I mean, today we did learn, a lot of things about Gen Z and e-commerce and they being entrepreneurs or buyers. We always have read and known about it. But hearing it from y'all who have so much experience in your own fields, we've known and it's just got reaffirmed that how quick and agile one has to be to cater to them as users or even as entrepreneurs. And borrowing some words from Yash, I'm going to say that, yeah, you either adopt or you just perish. So that's where it is, whether it comes to technology or creating an experience or creating a brand for the Gen Z is so critical right now. So you have to be on your toes and not take them for granted. They are not the generation who's going to be like, chalega, adjust kar lenge. So on that note, thank you. Sorry we couldn't take too many questions, and thank you so much, all of you, for your time and the insights that you have provided to all of us. Thank you so much. Thanks.